Hello, welcome to Module 4. This is Tracy Ensminger with my presentation of Osage City, which lies within Osage County and where USD 420 is and where I currently teach 6th grade. The customs and traditions that we have in Osage City, the annual Osage Citywide Garage Sale, which was actually this weekend, semi-annual Citywide Cleanup, which comes after the garage sale, the Osage County Fair, the parade, Kids Decorated Bicycle Parade. It's a big parade the community joins just to kind of kick off the Osage County Fair, which is the next one on the list. Of course, local talents show off their animals and vegetables and whatever they have. Then in July, the Community Fireworks Spectacular, followed by the Christmas on Market Street, which is a fun event. They have some other extras there, like Guess Who Santa Is and things of that nature, just to kind of sell off raffle tickets and things of that nature to get money for the chamber. And then we have the Community Appreciation Dinner, which is put on by the local churches, and everyone in the community is welcome to come. And then the Cruisin' Cookin' Car Show, which we actually just had last weekend, drew in about 275 vintage vehicles, and just, we have a lot of fun, and, the local community, the businesses are able to sell some supplies and goods and things of that nature. And then April 8th was a Taste of Osage City, which kicks off the big Smoke in the Spring Barbecue Festival, which really draws a lot of people. It's a big touristy thing, and also just a big barbecue competition that's fun. So on Friday evening, community members can go down and buy the samples of the barbecue, which helps fund some of the activities that go on around there. It's a lot of fun. The customs and traditions in USD 420. Osage City High School field experience. The seniors get to go on a field trip to Yellowstone and Costa Rica. It's supported actually with the senior club, and actually their garage sale was this weekend too in the bus barn. It kind of goes hand in hand with the citywide garage sale to help raise funds for those kiddos. And then the homecoming parade, that's a really big fun event in the fall. The different grade levels all make a big float, and then the students get to vote on their favorite float. And later in the day, near the end of the day on that Friday, the whole school gets to walk down. I mean, the whole school, elementary, everyone. It's a big thing. It's fun. We walk down, we follow the floats downtown, and we get to hear who won, and they have a little pep rally, just building up to, of course, homecoming night, where then they get to see who the king and queen are. And then in the winter, of course, for basketball, we have Queen of Courts, where they elect their king and queen. And we have the annual school play in the spring, and the annual school Christmas concert around December, of course, around right before Christmas or winter break, I guess you would call it. The population characteristics. Osage County population as of July 2021 was 15,768. Osage City, Kansas had a population of 2,846. 96.9% of the residents are white. We do not have a diverse culture in Osage City. There's 0.7% Black or African American, 3.5% are Hispanic or Latino, 20% are 65 years of age or older, 49.9% female, with 93% of those being white. 90% of residents are high school graduates or higher. 19% of residents have a bachelor degree or higher. 63% work in civilian labor, with the average commute to work being about 29 minutes, meaning most of the residents don't work there in Osage. Most commute to Topeka. And 10% of our residents live in poverty, and this may have gotten cut off, but 10% of our residents are also uninsured. The communication channels for Osage. Osage City Fire and EMS have a live audio feed, Broadcastify. It's the public safety. It's pretty heavily utilized, being a small community, especially this time of year with the, small grass fires happening and things of that nature. That's people rely on that to just kind of be aware of what's going on. And the Osage County News and Osage County Online newspaper, that is to say. And then Osage County Online is the news. You can access it online as well. The Osage City Chamber of Commerce has a Facebook, but for public safety, Broadcastify is used, and for general information, the newspaper is read or accessed online. And for information about Osage County, for people that may be moving there, typically the Chamber of Commerce will be accessed on their Facebook site. Community groups in Osage City, they have the Kiwanis Club, we have the Rotary Club, and then our school, we have a parent-teacher organization. And our local churches, we have quite a few. There's no reason not to be attending church, apparently. We have the Community Covenant, First Presbyterian, the Flint Hills Baptist Church, Grace Lutheran, the Osage City Baptist, Osage City Church of Christ, the Solid Rock Action Center, St. Patrick's Church, the United Methodist Church. And then the Ecumenical Christian Action, that is supposed to say Christian, I apologize, is the Clothing and Food Pantry. It's a neat little community facility or building where people can go if they need clothing or food. And actually, I'm student council sponsor there at Osage City Middle School, and we just did a big food drive for the Ecumenical Christian Action. So we raised a lot of food to kind of restock the food bank. And then there's ECAN, which is the community center, and it has services for younger children, infants, and families. The leadership of Osage City, we have the Chamber of Commerce. The executive director is Jeanette Swartz. Our mayor is James Peterson. City manager is Rod Willis, and he's responsible for the daily operations of the entire municipal organization and hires department heads to act in this function. And we have a mayor, council manager form of government. And the Osage City Rotary president is Shannon Paulus. And then Osage City Kiwanis director is Charles Aswell. The economic conditions of Osage, as of May 27th, 2020, according to bestplaces.net and U.S. Census, the City of Osage Council meeting stated that, our City of Osage County, the economic conditions, we had a city meeting in May 27th, 2020, where the Economic Development Grant for small businesses was requested, and in the amount of $300,000. And there was also a request for a meal program in the amount of $100,000. The $300,000 was a grant that was proposed, and it was passed to kind of help companies who had shut down for a time during COVID, for lost wages for the revenue for the companies, and lost wages for employed, kind of help make up for that. The future job growth over the next 10 years is predicted to be 23.2%, which is lower than the U.S. average of 33.5%. There's not a lot of places to be employed in Osage City. It is probably their major facility is called Orbeez, and they are not a really large company, so they don't employ a lot of the residents. The average income of Osage City resident is $20,582 a year, and the U.S. average is $28,555 a year, with the median household income in Osage for a resident is $35,217, and the U.S. average is $53,482 a year. Unemployment rate in Osage is 3.6%. Our sales tax is pretty high. It's 9%. And like I said earlier, we have 10% of the population in Osage living in poverty and 10% uninsured. I'm sure there's a correlation between those statistic numbers. As stated previously, the local government system is mayor, council manager for political structure. The mayor of Osage City is also on the Board of Education, so I would only assume that he probably has a lot of influence on decisions that are made. Currently, we have no city council members on the Board of Education, and the Board of Education and the superintendent this year had a bit of a conflict. And in fact, what ended up happening, our Superintendent is leaving at the end of this year. We're currently searching for a new superintendent, and the I believe he was the president of the Board of Education. He is also leaving. He was the one that initiated a FOIA, a For Information Act, on the superintendent, and once the emails were exchanged, it turned out that there was a bit of a issue between the two gentlemen, where the superintendent had inquired of another board member via email that he was interested in trying to find ways to eliminate the president of the board, and the word on the street, of course, got back to the president of the Board of Education, and that was what resulted was the FOIA. And now both gentlemen are leaving. I don't know whether it was by their choice or it was something that was foisted upon them, but that has been kind of a conflict and a political delineation in the city, which I hope we'll manage to quickly recover from. Social tensions, as mentioned a bit ago, that is really the only thing that has happened in Osage as far as socially. We don't have a large, diverse culture, so we have no racial issues at this time, and really the only thing would be just the level of what I consider to be a fairly high percentage of students from families who are living in poverty. But it's not a tense situation. There are places in the community where they can go to get help, and of course the school's always willing to help them. Not as much as I'd like to see, but they do get the help that they need. Previous community efforts, in February of this year, we did pass a half-cent sales tax to fund a new jail. There were about 1,200 total votes, and I think only 500 were against it. So it hasn't been very long that Osage City High School was added. It was about an $11 million project, and our sales tax, like I said, is 9%. So I know that there's been talk of trying to do everything they can to avoid raising sales tax for any reason. So currently our school's in pretty good shape, with a new high school and a very nice auditorium for, our community, or not our community, but our school activities like the play and the Christmas concert and things of that nature. So currently we are sitting pretty good. There probably won't be any big bond issues suggested for a while. The local park has a nice swimming area that's a walk-in area, and they have a standing spray area where the kids can, stand, and has the little water features. So I doubt that anyone will be suggesting a bond for any kind of improvements aside from the jail anytime soon. And again, as I stated, we don't have any multicultural issues at this time, at least that I'm not aware of. I did look on KCTC, Kansas Communities of Care, and kind of peruse the results of there. And it's kind of hard to tell much about the culture there other than, demographics for the students, and kind of get a feel for that sort of thing. But I'm not aware of any multicultural issues at this time. And my references were here as listed, and I really appreciate you watching my video, and I look forward to viewing some of yours. Have a good evening.